Now, there is something that you said, I think it was with Tony Schiavone, you said that if you were a manager, if you came back as a manager, you would think that you would be perfect with the Revival. Is that accurate? Is that something that you said? Do you think they're great underutilized or undervalued talent there?
Absolutely. Those guys, if you've seen them, I saw those guys have a match with Bobby Roode and Chad Gable around probably a dozen times in different towns before I left. And for 28 to 30, 35 minutes, those guys took me back to the old days. They did some of the most ungodly, and all four were equally responsible for the finished product. But man, was it phenomenal. And it took me back to Midnight Express, Rock and Roll Express days, Horseman Rock and Roll Express days, Tully and myself against the Rockers. I mean, all those great tag matches, wrestling the Road Warriors in Chicago, all those incredible memories and matches that people remember. That's what was rolling through my mind, because those guys have thought about this. They have watched old tape. They have taken a little bit of this and a little bit of that, some of my stuff and some of Tully's stuff, and put their own spin on it. And they're just the best damn team in the world. Who's going to defy me on that? Name somebody else. Nobody better. And it's more of a wish list. It's kind of me just throwing a bobber out in the lake just to see if anybody will take it under. But, if I had a wish list and there was one last thing I was probably going to do in the business, right now, if you could be somewhere, it would be to give me about 4 weeks of TV to set it up and walk in the door and manage those guys. And I think we could make a difference day one, and I think we could be on fire inside of a month. That's just me being cocky, but I've always believed in myself, so be it.
I love the Revival. Great team. And they really, not really as much as the Midnight Express, but they really remind me of you and Tully, just the way they work, the double team moves, the tag team moves, moving in and out of the ring, getting the crowd involved, taking great bumps, great selling. Do you think that when you look at them, you're almost looking at yourself and Tully from years gone by?
Absolutely. It's by design, and they got no problem telling you. They patterned themselves against the best team maybe ever. And I know I sound real cocky, but Tully Blanchard and myself, I feel, are as good as any team has ever been in the history of this business. And I will go into my urn feeling the same way when it's all said and done. It's not cocky. It's just the fact that I know we put the time in, we put the effort in, we put the thought process in, and our goal, like I said, was to go out and outdo, whether it be Barry Windham or Ric Flair or whoever was going to be before us or after us. Didn't matter that they were part of the Horsemen. We were out there to give the audience the very best match of the night, and if possible, with the right opponents that they'd ever seen. And that's what I base that best in the world on.
I talk to Tully all the time, and we always bring up you and how great of a team you were. And he says, it doesn't know how it is, but some guys just have that chemistry, and you guys were just able to just be unbelievable together. And I even say this, and a lot of people laugh, say crazy. I said, I think Arn and Tully were better than Rick as far as workers. I just, and you put two of those guys of that caliber. I mean, crazy maybe to say because Rick is so great, but put two of those guys together of that caliber, you're going to get one hell of a tag team.
Well, that's very kind to say. You'll never hear me say I was better than Ric Flair. I think different, and that's what made us so well generate, such a great foursome or fivesome or whatever you want to call it, whatever the Horsemen were, because I put J.J. Dillon in there as equally responsible for our success as any one of us. But to be put in that same caliber as a talent, as a Ric Flair, I'm very honored and almost embarrassed. But thank you very much.